Okay, so our audio should be live. We should be good.
Okay.
Everything should be functioning.
Nice.
People can hear us.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fab Squad Open 4.
Yeah. So this is. I don't think anyone is tuning in currently, but if somebody manages to go back and watch the VOD.
Yeah.
This is round 2. We had some technical difficulties. Obviously, I sold some cards to, buy cameras and mics and build this whole rig and set this stream up and tested it a bunch of times. Everything was good, and obviously day of it blew up. So here we are, round 2. It's functioning.
Yep.
So some of the information on the screen is a little wrong. So it's round 2. The players' names are correct. I believe the life totals are correct where we're at.
Yep.
And on the bottom left, all the information is correct except we have 23 players today.
Mm-hmm.
So we're normally we'd have like a pre-round 1 commentator cam. And we'd talk about the tournament and all that, but we had technical difficulties. We're just going to get right in the gameplay. So I'm Nathan, and
I'm Ashley Briggs.
Yep, so we're doing coverage for this, which I'm super excited about. I'm really happy to have Ashley come on and help me with this. Normally I play in these tournaments, but today I'm going to do coverage, because coverage is sweet, and I would like to stream these tournaments. So, I don't know. So...
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, and let's jump right into it.
Yep, cool. So this is, like I said, round 2. Our engineer, Colin, is going to get all that information cleaned up as we get the stream running. We have Austin on Kano versus Nathan on Reinar. It's a little hard to see. He's got the full art. It's like kind of dark, Reinar, but it is Reinar. And Nate's been playing Reinar for a little bit. He played little bit of KO. He's played a bunch of Assassin. He's kind of struggled to find a deck that he really loves, but he always goes back to Reinar, and it's really cool to see him on Reinar again.
Absolutely.
And as for Austin, he's bounced around a little bit trying to find a deck, but I've been teaching him Kano the last couple months, and he's picked it up. He's gotten a ton better, and he actually won a Pro Quest on Kano, so he is going to Amsterdam, actually, which is so sick.
Good for him.
Yeah, so...
All right, we'll have to see what he can do here. Starting off with Crucible, and waiting.
Ooh.
Right. Coming in for Aether Spindle. Now, this is probably one of Kano's better spells, right?
Yeah, Aether Spindle is deceptively strong. It's when you compare it to the other red 2 costs, it does less damage. Typically, you get 5 points out of your spindles, or out of your like Swell Tidings and Voltic Bolt. Voltic Bolt's the original one. So 4 damage is a little less, but 2-card 5. So 2-card 5 is like pretty bad, right? That's 2.5 points per card.
Yep.
But arcane damage is usually rounded a point down for what you consider to be on rate, because it's a little harder to interact with. Mm-hmm. And this card specifically is more powerful than the other cards per point of damage, because you get to opt X, where X is the damage you deal, and that doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but 5 specifically is so strong in Kano, because if you hit for 5, not only do you get to choose what 4 cards, if you keep them all on top, which you typically do when you hit for 5 because it's so good, you not only get to choose which cards are in your hand when you draw up at the end of your turn, you get to choose the first card on the top of your deck. Yeah. And Kano lets you play the top card of your deck. So if this hits for 5, you get to just sculpt your 4 cards, you put all the blues in your hand and then put the red on top or whatever. Yep. And then your opponent is in a bad spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that opting for even just like small amounts is one of the most powerful things that Kano can do. He definitely wants to find those powerful spells off the top. Doesn't want to just be hitting blue zaps usually. Those will come in for like 1 damage, and as we said, it's pretty under rate. In order to go above rate and really push through that damage, Austin's going to be looking for a few key cards. At the moment, he does not have an arsenal, so we're not going to see the big Kano combo. But at the moment, he's probably going to be looking to find some good red spells to chip in off the top, and Energy Potion. We already see that he has 1 Energy Potion out, and how important do you think that is for the combo?
Yeah, so with for people who don't know me, I play like a lot of Kano. Yeah, so I like to think I'm not too bad at it, but without going into all the math, E-Pot is typically worth about 10 damage, give or take, and every E-Pot that you have past the first one can enable even more than that. It's just wildfire math. Like the first one is worth 10 almost every time. And because Austin has an E-Pod in play, you could see a line where Nate spins his whole hand and goes to no cards in hand and puts an Intimidator 2 on the stack, and Austin could just kill him from 33.
Yeah.
Like you even without the arsenal, you could see something like that. It's super unlikely, but the E-Pot makes those kinds of things more possible. So, like, yeah, this is that exact spot. So we see pitch a blue to Alpha Rampage, discard a card off 3 cards. And if Austin's hand was, like, absolutely juiced, or there was a D-Pot in play or something, like, or it was blue, blue, blue Wildfire, you could absolutely see him just send it.
Yep. Yeah. Now, Intimidate actually is a really interesting mechanic in this matchup because, as we see now, Austin has those 3 cards off to the side. Those are actually banished. They are not in his hand right now. Ooh, let's see. He just takes all the damage from this.
Yeah.
It's definitely looking like a powerful hand from Austin.
This can... So I think he has a Wildfire, and that was the only card he was allowed to keep.
Oh, no.
You just don't... There's already one to banish, so you just don't block with it. So,
yeah,
so this turn...
Wow, this is a pretty good turn already. Starting off, finding an E-Pod off the top. Gonna chip in for 1 here.
Wow. He can't do that. He played an E-Pod. Right.
He played it from the top. Yeah, he KO'd the E-Pod.
Okay, nice.
It was a blind KO.
I thought he played it from his hand. That would have been very bad. Yeah, so I guess hitting that off the... hitting that off the cane is insane. So this...
Nice. Wow, this turn just got ridiculous. Not only did he play an energy potion off the top, he played a potion of deja vu. This is another card that can just enable Kano to do some really disgusting lines.
With Wildfire in the arsenal, you're going to have 4 cards in hand, Wildfire in arsenal, 2 E-Pots, a D-Pot, and Tunic up. So you're looking at, on average, like 14 resources if Ragamuffin Tat hits a red, and you have a red in your... And you have 2 reds in your hand.
This is definitely looking like it's going to be an insanely powerful combo. It definitely makes sense that Austin was willing to go so low for this, take such a big hit.
Nate is considering Arcane Barrier on this Aether Dart, and if he does, it's just like so bad unless you actually can't use the cards any other way.
Yeah,
it's coming in for 1. E-Pot, D-Pot is very terrifying.
Wow, and he is going to AB the Aether Dart. I agree. I typically find that when the Kano is set up like this, you really want to keep resources on your own turn so that when the Kano tries to combo off, you have as much defense as possible. Because like you were alluding to with the E-Pot being worth 10 damage, Kano's damage is multiplicative. And with that Aether Wildfire, you're going to want to stop as much of that up front as possible. Now, Nathan does have AB3.
So this is... If I'm playing Kano in this spot, if I'm Austin, and I see this... Pack Hunt's like the best card to throw if you think your opponent could be setting up combo, because while it's not that threatening, it forces an Intimidate without discarding a card, and Austin, we're gonna see Austin probably fish here unless he's setting up this D-Pot, but
looks like a blue.
He's gonna underpitch this. It's hard to see, but it's a Tome of Aetherwind and a blue, so he's actually got 1 floating. He's gonna D-Pot here.
Yep.
So float 1 extra mana. Cast the tome, draw the 2 blues. So actually the D-Pot turns into a free Kano activation and a free mana.
Wow. Okay, so we're starting off really strong here. Do you think after this he's going to still be trying to fish? Or do you think that he'll be happy
I think he fish. So, like, Nate's hand is probably a red here.
And let's see, what does he find? Oh, is that a Sink Below on top? Is he playing D-Reacts?
Previously we were playing 8 D-Reacts and Balance of Justice into
Brutes.
Into Brutes, yeah.
Oh, I think that was a Sink Below on top, so that's gonna completely snuff this, unfortunately.
But he's not playing Balance of Justice, so I think if you're not playing Balance, you're not supposed to play the D-Reacts because you're not you're not really stacking.
Sure, you want to play a faster game plan and really leverage the flexibility that Ragnarock's attack gives you.
You can stack Rhinar if you're like fully committed, but I think being half-hearted into it, like with only 5 D-Reacts and no hat, is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of the Intimidate mechanic.
And this is actually why we see some Kanos prefer running no D-Reacts because essentially finding a D-React off the top here, what that means is that he had this really powerful combo set up, right? We were talking about how he had 3 potions in play. He has one of the best cards in his deck, Aether Wildfire, in his arsenal. He was completely set up, but finding that Sync Below on top means that it's not a card that can deal arcane damage, so he just completely would have to throw away that blue if he wanted to banish it and keep fishing. And so, like we said, how you got that free Kano activation, how he was getting the gears rolling, and how he actually expended one of his resources, that potion, in order to try for something there, you kind of lose that advantage by just getting this Kano activation that doesn't do anything. And now Nathaniel's coming in with a swing big. This is not quite threatening lethal, but 8 is a good chunk of change. And as we discussed, Austin now has that Sync Below in his hand, so it's going to be unlikely that he can Kano and try to go for the combo here. Yeah, we see him just block. Yeah, and he's going to use the Sync Below. So it looks like Austin's just going to have to chip in a little bit. Oh, and we see, is there a pummel? This is devastating. This is going to push through more damage. This is going to stop Austin for fishing for cards that he could chip away with. Yeah, he just discards a random blue. That card on its own is not too important, but it was going to be a free Kano activation on his turn. And as we see now, yeah, he just has to pass his turn and draw up here. I think Nathaniel has to like this spot. Austin should be at 5 life now, I believe. Let's see here. Yeah, Austin should be at 5 life here. I believe he just took the pummel. Yeah, this is definitely taking a turn, although, notably, 5 is not 0. Austin is still absolutely in a great position to combo off if he can find the pieces. Nathaniel really does need to continue to put on the pressure and basically force Austin to combo when he doesn't want to. I think that's one of the most powerful things you can do against Kano. If you give Kano too much time, like Nate said earlier, they can just pitch stack, or they can just wait for the God Hand where they have 4 blues and a blazing. But this way, he might be forcing Austin into an awkward position where he has to combo off based on what is and isn't blocking in his hand. And he might potentially have only 2 blues. These are just scenarios that could lead to bad situations for Austin. So we'll have to see what he drew. We'll have to see what Nathaniel does here. He's tanking. So let's take a look. Okay, Austin is at 6. Oh, he must have overblocked the swing big by 1. That makes sense, yeah. He blocked 9 and then took 3 from the pummel.
Oh yeah, he has Oasis in his hand, so I think this is a bit of a sideboard mistake for Austin because, like I said previously, we were stacking the Brutes with Kano, but if you're only playing the 5DRX, or maybe he's playing Fates for Scene still, you can still do it, but it doesn't look like he's pitch stacking.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he is, especially with 1 Ether Wildfire gone, the 2nd in Arsenal, it looks like he's going to try to just make something happen.
You only need 2 to kill Rhinar in your stack. Like, they don't play Oasis or anything, and they're only on AB3. But, like, when you hit those E-pots and, like, had that D-pot early, you want a tempo, and, like, if he didn't brick on the Sync Below, he would have gone for it.
Yep. And now we see Austin now in a slightly awkward spot with that Oasis. This is another turn where he cannot combo. He actually used Tunic for Oasis, so that's another resource on the combo turn that's not going to be available to him. It does heal 1 life for him, which is really important. Kano's definitely just going to trying to be surviving until he's able to get into a position to combo. And what we saw from Nathaniel was attack with the claw, and this is a trick that Brutes are just able to do now, is during reactions you can just discard your Agile Windup to give it go again, and not give your opponent full information. And let's see, die is kind of obscuring what card that is. Ah, there we go. Show No Mercy.
Yeah, this is the new. Yeah, this is the new Rhinar spec. So only Rhinar can play it, obviously. It's just got Intimidate tacked onto it like Pack Hunt, so those things are quite powerful. And then if they have no cards in hand, it gets +3. And this is powerful because if you intimidated them a bunch of times, it just gets a bunch of power. But like if you intimidate them twice and then you throw 6 at them, if they block with their last 2 cards, it gets +3 and hits them anyway.
Yep. Yeah, it really puts the and fishing again. Yeah, he just has to banish this Sync, or he's debating it. He's found another Sync Below off the top. So this is really an unfortunate string of events for Austin, but like Nate said, it might not have been the best situation to put himself in at the start of the game. So let's see here. So choosing to keep that Sync Below in hand, to me that says that he's going to try to hold on for a better hand, play more patiently, and defend, because he still could have chosen to banish it just so that he wouldn't draw it. up your chances of drawing a blue or drawing an impactful red spell that you want to put off the top of Ragamuffin's hat. Instead, he's just going to be dealing with more Intimidates here. He hasn't been leaking damage, it seems, which is good. Oh, but here's the second Barraging Beatdown. And at this point, Austin has already committed to not comboing by taking the first Intimidate, and with the second one, it's just going to be impossible for him to put together a combo that can really do anything. So he's priced into blocking now. We'll have to see if Nathaniel is able to put together more Intimidates, because those Barraging Beatdowns...
He doesn't even need to Intimidate at this point. You really just need to throw, the Claw's not going to be good enough.
Yeah.
Unless there's a no block in Austin's hand, but it looks like there are 2 cards that block. So, he says, hey, I'll give you... I think this is Sync Below said, I'll give you 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has... 6.
Oh, wow. And there's the game. So, at that point, the buffs from Barraging Beatdown didn't even matter. It was just stopping Austin from blocking.
Yep. Classic intimidate you and take all of the rest of your cards and blocks.
Yeah.
Attack you multiple times.
Unfortunate.
The agility token putting in big work there.
Absolutely, yeah. Just we really saw the free, or not the free, but the better access that brutes have now to go again in extra action points without having to rely on scab skins makes a really big difference, especially in matchups like this where you want to be aggressive.
Yep. All right. So here we are.
Hello.
We are sitting next to the Lego wall here at Little Root Games.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting match. I think some sideboard decisions in the plans for Austin, the Kano player, really impacted that game. Hitting the Sync Below on the top there.
Yeah, twice in a row actually, which is just incredibly unlucky. But as you mentioned, without balance, without playing towards your pitch stack. It's a mistake that could be avoided.
Yeah, well, it's not even that it's a mistake. It's that he sideboarded to pitch stack, but then had he was playing tempo.
Yeah.
And he wasn't playing balance of justice. And I think if you're playing those D-reacts in a Reinhardt specifically, you really want to full commit to the pitch stack, like play balance of justice. Don't throw anything at them on your turn. Just play potions and put cards in the bottom of your deck.
Now, do you think that's just because of how much damage Brute is able to do now?
Yeah, I mean, even Reinhardt, like the slowest of the 3 brutes, is still able to send multiple actual attack action cards, not just claw in an attack, like most turns, just because of the agility tokens. Like Nate's probably playing 6 agile windups, like blues or maybe not blues. He's like he's like probably playing yellows, and I could see a world where they play reds. But even then, they're so good at attacking multiple times, and Kano is not very good at blocking multiple times and doing something. And you start 10 life down, so if you have those D-reacts, it's so that you can give yourself enough room to hit the second cycle, and then you can blow them up from any life total. It's not a big deal. But he wasn't pitch stacking. He was playing tempo.
But we could, of course, see a world in which that game plays out completely differently. Even if he hits a Sync Below on his second Kano, if he finds a reasonable spell on that first blind Kano, with 2 E-Pots, he's probably still just able to go for it. I believe at that point, Nathaniel didn't really have that many resources up, and with the Wildfire and 2 E-Pots, you definitely have a lot of wiggle room to find a combo. 33 is a pretty high life total to try to get them down from. He was presenting AB3, which does give him a decent amount of defensive capabilities, but just kind of an unfortunate string of events for Austin. But 1-1, still fine. Just pick it up for the next round. And Nathaniel and Reinhardt is going 2-0. So, Brutes have definitely made a really big comeback since Heavy Hitters, which is really, really awesome to see. Brutes were never quite on top of the meta, but between Reinhardt being able to do stuff, and then, of course, KO's being a powerhouse, already getting over 500 living legend points, Brute is on top. Brute is a real thing that you have to respect and have a game plan for, and that's awesome, Brute fans have definitely just been waiting for a long time for their heroes to be good, and so it's really awesome to see them finally get their time in the sun. Leviah also is in a really interesting position. I'm sure by now we've all seen Shadow Realm Horror, I believe, the new expansion slot card. That card is insane. What is it? It's like 2-for-7 go again, and you can potentially play another card if you hit all 6s. Part the Mistveil is going to be really, really interesting. It'll be fun to see how that changes the current meta array. Brutes really are on top right now, and it looks like at least Levi is going to be getting another tool there. So we'll have to see if any of the new heroes have a particularly good Brute matchup to kind of change up the meta and snuff them a little bit. But otherwise, we might be just in Brute season for quite a while, which I think people would be all right with. So, let's see. We don't have the meta breakdown in front of us at the moment, but I was able to get a peek of it earlier. I believe there are 14 heroes being played, and in a 23-person tournament, that's really awesome to see that kind of diversity. People, well, of course, always have their favorites, but I think it also says something about the game that there's no hero that's really shutting everybody down.
Oh, graphic, yeah, but there's the
oh my goodness, we have the meta breakdown. How lucky for me. So, thank you very much. So the top 2 heroes that we see are Kasai and Kano, but each of them only have 3 people playing them right now. So, it's definitely not like the old days where you would see, like Starvo, Prism, Viserai, all at the top. It's really well spread out. Here, we have the meta breakdown, if you're interested in taking a look.
Yeah, sorry, I had to step out. We have Nate, the Reinhardt player, just went on camera, who's now 2-0, which is sick.
Yep.
He owns an Asian barbecue food truck, and their food's so good.
Yep.
But they're actually vending this tournament. I asked him if he wanted to come up and sell some food, and he was like, yes. That'd be sick.
Absolutely.
So, it's rained super hard today, so the area that they were going to set up the food truck at, they have a tent that they pop out and cook on a grill and all that, and it was not going to work out, so we had to find some alternate area for that, but we got it sorted out. So
okay, perfect, nice.
Yeah, so after this round is going to be a break for an hour, and we're going to give the players a lunch break. That's why we started the event a little earlier. There's only 5 rounds of Swiss. Yep. Even with the lunch break, we'll be done at 4:30 for the Swiss, and then we'll stream the top 8.
Yep.
So there'll be an hour-long break after this, so the players can get some nice barbecue food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about this meta breakdown. So we have 3 Kasai and 3 Kano, 2 KO, 2 Reinhardt, 2 Prism, 2 Katsu, and then one of a bunch of other heroes, and there's 14 heroes, it looks like.
Yeah, 14 heroes. I was commenting on how great that diversity is to
That's
see.
sick, yeah.
Only 23 players, very few repeats. That's great. We see a good warrior representation. We see good brute representation. Those are 2 classes that got a lot of support from heavy hitters.
Yeah, we've got some really good players in the room. Round 1, unfortunately, we weren't able to stream it. We were having some issues with one of the cables for the camera, but Jesse Hudak was playing Teklevossen, and Nate was on camera round 1.
Yes.
So table 1 is just going to be the feature match area, so whoever is winning the most is going to be up there.
We're going to see a lot more Reinhardt perhaps today.
The room's kind of stacked. There's probably 7 or 8 PQ wins collective out there, and I don't think any repeats. I think Adam Franzi won 2 playing Prism. He's out there playing Prism now. Yep. But I think there's Austin won a PQ. Gabe's on Kano won a PQ.
Yep.
I'm not sure if Jesse won one or not. I think he just played Teklevossen the whole season.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
But the deck's totally good right now. It's reasonable. You don't have to play against Droma anymore.
Yep.
And he's actually beating a good amount of Prisms. Yeah. Which is sick.
And getting Arcane Barrier coming up in the next set.
Yeah, it's not gonna save that.
Maybe AB1 will help against Runeblade.
They don't start with it in play, so they take 12 damage before they put one into play, and then they still just die.
Yeah.
I don't know why they printed it, because it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, everybody wanted it, so now they'll see that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but so this 3 Kasai players is pretty cool. We have Cedric out there, who I don't know if he won a ProQuest, but I watched him play 5 ProQuests, and he top 8'd every single one as the first or second seed.
Yep.
The kid's actually cracked. He's so good.
He's ridiculously good. I think he might have top 4'd most, if not
everyone.
All of them.
Yeah.
I think he's a very strong player.
I personally don't think that Kasai is a very good deck, and when sitting down against him playing Kasai, I'm like, man, I don't want to play this.
Yeah.
I played Azalea against him 3 times, and he was on Kasai.
Yeah.
And I lost 2 and 1-1, and I think that's a very favorable matchup for Azalea. I think I'm pretty good at Azalea.
Yeah.
And the first time we played, it was a complete non-game where I drew no arrows for multiple turns, and then I got destroyed.
Yeah.
And the other loss was pretty good. I I think I had a no arrow hand, but you can usually win with a single no arrow hand.
Yeah.
But he's like very good at the deck. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
So
he's really able to squeeze every single point of value out of that deck.
I would be very surprised if he doesn't top 8 today, even in a room that's as veteran as this. He's quite good.
I agree. I think that I think the Midwest is already an incredibly stacked region, and I think he's like coming in and just like beating people immediately. He's very strong.
Yeah.
Gonna try to get him out to Minneapolis at least for the calling. Hopefully.
Yeah. Is he not going?
I'm not sure at the moment. I believe he was playing before RTN season, so.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited for Nats. It's gonna be sick. This is a cool event because it's at the tail end of ProQuest season, right before we get the full spoilers for Part the Mistveil, and people start testing CC, and then when the set comes out, start testing Draft.
Yep.
So it's kind of in that little pocket, like after Draw My LLs, ProQuest season's a little done, so people have like the full ProQuest info to go off of, and the room's like real competitive. There's like I don't think there's anyone out there who's like just playing for fun. I think everyone actually wants to win.
Yep.
It's a pretty competitive room.
Yep.
But this metagame is super diverse.
Yep.
I know.
I'm a little surprised that we only have one Victor. Victor's been picking up a lot of ProQuest wins recently.
Yeah.
But of course, Kano being very well represented in our meta makes it a problem.
Yeah. I don't know. I think his KO matchup is probably pretty bad too.
It's fair.
That's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
But I played a little bit of Victor, not a ton. He's really strong. His numbers are really high. When you win those clashes and draw an extra card, I don't know if you've ever drawn an extra card in Flesh and Blood.
It's pretty nice.
It's pretty good.
As a Ranger player and a current Prism player that can draw like 5 extra cards in a turn.
Azalea draws some cards.
Yeah, it's really, really strong. So winning a trounce just can completely change the course of the game. So yeah, this is a pretty good meta breakdown, and we have like a few dark horse picks as well. We have Max, who's done some stuff. Tekla, who, as we said, is like now that Dromai is gone, starting to kind of like find his own space in the metagame. And then we have like a Fi and a Bolton. Fi, interestingly, like hasn't really been doing too much. Maybe Part the Mistveil will change that. But Bolton's been picking up a lot of steam, especially with Dromai gone.
Yeah, so a lot of these one-ofs are local players. Like our armories here fire with like 8 to 10 people pretty regularly.
Yep.
It's like a pretty committed crowd. We just haven't got new players in a little bit.
Yep.
But like the Lavia, the Max, the Vincent, the Fi. These are all players that we get every single week.
Yeah.
So they're pretty good at their decks. Like the Fi player is like my best friend Brandon. He like only plays Fi. He's really good at it.
Yeah.
And there's like, I think last month he won every armory. Like he just 3-0'd literally every single week. Like dude's a beast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But he just like doesn't want to play anything other. He just wants to play the mono red aggro deck. And, like, but he's really good at those decks.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how he does. I'm not sure how he did round 1. But two of the Kano players are players that I have taught how to play, and they both won ProQuest this season on Kano, which was sick. I betrayed Kano. I won one on Azalea, and then scrubbed out on my Kano ProQuest. So yeah, I like this. This diverse meta. It's really cool to see. The coverage should be good. The Max player, actually, if we can get him on camera ever.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah, he like only plays Max. He's actually our graphic designer Kyle.
Oh,
like he
nice.
designed the Fab Squad logo. He designed that playmat that you see, the 2-player playmat. He designed all the champion playmats that we use. Like any graphics that I have designed for the Fab Squad, he designs them, and he does a super good job.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So yeah, shout out to Kyle. And you can't see him. He's behind the scenes. Shout out to Colin doing the engineer work, running the stream.
Thank you, Colin.
Yeah, I built it in OBS because I'm an idiot, and there's no shot I'd be able to get it to look this good or anything. So shout out to those people. Shout out to Josh, who's our judge. He's my go-to head judge for all of these. He's excellent. I will pay him to do these as long as he's willing to keep doing it. He does a super good job.
Yeah, Josh is a great guy.
Yeah, thank you to you for coming out and helping me cast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I could probably do it by myself, but it would not be that interesting. I would just be complaining about Prism the whole time. Because that's
no Prisms at the top tables yet.
Yeah,
we'll have a balanced coverage of Prism. I'll be.
We'll probably have Prism on. Yeah, we'll probably have Prism on camera at some point because I don't know who the second Prism player is. I think it's actually.
I know one is Matthew.
Yeah, Matt is playing Prism, and then Franzi's the other one.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Franzi's a beast. Like,
Yeah.
he's been playing Magic for a long time. I taught him how to play Flesh and Blood, and he like sold a lot of Magic cards and started playing Flesh and Blood. And,
Yep.
like, he was invested, like old school player, like duels
Oh,
and power
sure.
and all that. And
Yeah.
he's like plays a lot. He's on the Team Eclipse, up there with the like Ray Adams and Jesse Hudak, I believe, playing up in Cleveland.
Nice.
That squad's really good.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of those players out here today. I'm really excited. It's the first one that they've been able to make it to.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a little bit of downtime before the next round fires, which won't be for, this round still has about a half an hour left in it, and then we have
we're on
the lunch break, which typically didn't have a lunch break in these tournaments, but since I'm starting it 2 hours before we started the other ones, and Nate was kind enough to come out and vend this tournament with his food truck, which is so cool. I can't understand how cool it is. Like, one of our regulars just like owns a food truck, and he's like, I'll come sell brisket or whatever. I'm like, that's so sick. But so, since starting a little earlier, we could fit the lunch break in, which isn't that great for the stream or the VOD or whatever. But that's totally fine. I want to give these players a good time. I'm not doing this to make any money, which. If you've ever run a tournament, you don't make any money running tournaments. So I'll just take a minute to talk about the Fab Squad, since this is the first time that I've had an opportunity to do that. I think on coverage, or since we're streaming the event. I used to play a lot of Magic tournaments, especially like shout out to Apex Games. I know everyone's heard of them by now. Me and one of the players here, Gabe, he's playing Kano. One of the people I taught to play Kano. We went up to Kyle, the owner of Apex, and like, hey, you should do an invitational series with all these 1Ks that you have. Here's all the math. Like I've already done all the math for you. See if you can incorporate this into a system. Here's how it would feed into the prize pool for the invitational. Here's how all the math works. Can we do something like this? And he was like, yeah, this is sick. Let's make this work. And then 4 months later, we get like the Ohio Mid-Valley Invitational Series. So it's like all modern. And the first season of that was sick. And I think they're on their like 5th season now, and their invitational is like up to a 20K now.
Whoa.
Like they have like big names come out and cast it. It's sick. If you still play Magic, especially modern, check out Apex Games. I don't think they'll see this at all, but they're good people. Like if nobody shows up to their tournament, they're still paying out like the full 1K or whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Kyle's an excellent guy. I will never stop sending people to that store if you still play Magic. They're down in Caldwell, Ohio, so Apex Games, they're sick. But anyway, during the first season of this series, I had learned how to play Flesh and Blood, and I loved the game, like instantly. Fell in love with the game. I built a box of Blitz decks for every hero that was out at the time. I think it was like 14 heroes that were legal in Blitz that weren't like Shiana or whatever, right? I built one for every class, or 1 or 2 for every class. Budget Blitz decks, like the Majestics that were maybe only $5, like no legendary equipment or whatever. And I would teach people how to play Flesh and Blood in between rounds, and people were like mad at me because the game was so good. And they're like, man, I gotta get into another card game. They're like, heck you. Like they're mad at me because the game is so freaking good. So I got all these people to play, and then I started a Discord server for Ohio people to play, because like we want to play more Flesh and Blood. Like let's play Flesh and Blood. Try to get started at some stores, and there were a couple stores that played in Ohio, and for various reasons I really didn't want to play at those stores. We won't really get into that, but I liked all the people that played at those stores. So I started a Discord server, and I just named it Fab Squad because like I needed to name it something so we could invite people to this Discord server, so we could organize some events, talk about stuff, and then it got huge. Like I think a year and a half went by, and we were at like 150 people, or we were about at 100 people, and it was just super active. Like I own the server, and I have to mute my server because people don't stop talking. It's just like ping, 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 ping. Yep. So super active. It was really cool to see.
Yep.
And I am friends with Rob Wilson. If you're an enfranchised Magic player, you probably know who that is. He owns the BCDL, which is the Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy Series. And that's like started out as the same thing as this. Like Rob loved Legacy. Yeah. All his friends loved Legacy. He wanted more Legacy tournaments to play in. So he said, I'm just going to run my own Legacy tournaments. Yeah. Right? What everyone else is doing, not such a good job. Like, I'll just do it.
Right.
So this tournament series is like modeled after what Rob does. And huge shout out to Rob. If you still play Magic and you play Legacy, check out Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy on Twitter. They have an event coming up next weekend in Columbus at the Warp Gate, which is another Six store. And that it. One sec. Do you need something? Okay. I'm being requested.
Okay.
So I'll go do that shortly. I'll continue my story after I get back. Sorry, we're handling food truck logistics, and I'm an amateur at all this. So I'll be
we'll
back.
figure it out.
Yeah, I'll be back.
All right. Well, I don't play Magic anymore, so we're just gonna go back to talking about Flesh and Blood. Unfortunately, sorry, cannot segue off of that story exactly. I used to play Magic, but as soon as I started playing Flesh and Blood, my particular local scene died down, and Flesh and Blood is just such a welcoming community. The game is incredible. It's the first TCG that I've played competitively, and I've just been loving it. You know, traveling, hanging out with friends, going to all these tournaments. It's been a great time.
All right, I'm back.
That's fast.
Yeah, well, I just had to answer some logistical questions.
Fair.
I'm like the middleman between the.
Yeah,
that's a lot. But anyway, so shout out to BCDL. If you play Legacy, check out their tournament. I think he has 6 or 7 slots left. But this is modeled after what Rob did. And Rob's tournaments are full proxy, right? Which is so sick because Legacy decks in Magic are like $5 or $6 grand, and Legacy players don't really care about their collections being worth a lot of money. They just want to play cards. It's hard to do that when cards are worth a lot of money. Yeah. So Rob runs a like homegrown tournament series just like this. It started out as like F&Ms where he would like make Buffalo Chicken Dip for people. They would come to his house. They would just play Legacy. Yeah. And named his tournament series after that, which is awesome because it's just a bunch of dudes hanging out playing Legacy, and Legacy's sick. Yeah. And so he started a tournament series where it's full proxy, which this is not full proxy, but we don't have the same issues with like cards being worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah, there's no even like $2,000
yeah.
deck? Like,
I mean, it's a luxury hobby, and cards cost a little bit of money, but not so much that I would need to run it as full proxy. So his tournaments are full proxy. They're prepay, pre-register, and he uses the entry fee to buy prizes. So it doesn't pay out cash. They usually are about 2 or 3Ks, which is awesome. Yeah. But they pay out like dual lands and stuff. Yeah. And I really like that model, and I would do coverage for him, and I was playing those tournaments, and it was sick, and I loved hanging out with the homies, playing for some cardboard. Yep. And I wanted to do the same thing with Flesh and Blood. So it started out real small. Like the first one of these was free. I made the tournament free. I put in like, I think I donated $1,500 in cards, and then some other like community donated playmats and all sorts of stuff, and it just like just did it that way, and that was sick. And then now this is kind of modeled off the BCDL, so it's like pre-register, prepay, and I use the entry fee to buy the prizes. So we can post a picture of the Fab Squad flyer, which looks so sick. Shout out to Kyle, the graphic designer, for doing that for me, because man, it'd be a text document. Like it would just text, no images if I was doing it, because I'm not good at that. So shout out to him. But so this event is it was $40 entry fee, and the prizes are top 8 is a box of Crucible, 5th through 8th. 3rd and 4th is a box of heavy hitters and a Fandle Spring Tunic. Yeah. And then 2nd place is a box of heavy hitters, a Rainbow Foil Balance of Justice, and an invite to the Realm 50K. Yeah. So extra shout out to the Realm for they actually had to. Keith was super nice and changed the way that their event packages worked, so that the payout for this event would qualify to get a 2-slotter. So those are the prizes for the 2nd place, and then 1st place prize is a Cold Foil Balance of Justice. Yeah. A box of heavy hitters, a 50K invite, the Champion playmat, which I can show on stream here shortly. It looks dope. Yep. And I do these Fab Squad stamped promos for entry into these. Like today I gave out common equipment, and they're just like stamped with Fab Squad logo. Yeah. But there's only 2 of each of the ones that I handed out, and I won't make them ever again. Yeah. So people like trade them, and they'll use them in decks. Like you'll see some on stream today. I think a lot of our locals have a good bit of them since they played on a couple of these, and that's super cool. And then if you win the tournament, you get an adult hero stamped, Fab Squad stamped, of whatever you use to win the tournament. So that's the only way to get the adult hero, and people like really value those things. Yeah, that's awesome. It's like really cool actually. So I started the series as just like I wanted to run tournaments to play cards with the homies. Yep. And have some sick prizes. And we get people from out of state too that come down to play these that I've met playing cards. Like, I think this one is a little smaller. It's kind of an awkward weekend after Pikachu season before Nats. People are like really testing.
Yep.
But it's good to see people come out and play some cards and just have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know you haven't played in one of these yet.
I have not. It's never really lined up for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, but we got you here now doing coverage.
Yep.
And I played in them, and now there's a lot more logistics to go into streaming and everything. So. No, I'm no longer beating people up and dying in the quarterfinals and playing in tournaments.
There we go.
So, yeah, if you have any questions about the Fab Squad event, go ahead and post them in the comments, and I'm sure Colin can pull it up for us or whatever. But we're gonna. I think there's like 8 minutes left in this round, and then we're gonna have. Oh yeah, there's chat popped up. Nice. Who are we?
Hi.
What round are we on? We're on round 2.
Prism gross yuck. No,
yeah,
Prism's the best.
You're fired. I hate it. So the next BCDL is in August at the new Warp Gate location. Right, they are a lot bigger, but there's a BCDL next weekend, BCDL 14, which I believe is also at the Warp Gate. And I can double check that later, but I do believe the next BCDL is at the Warp Gate, and it's literally next Saturday. And he announced BCDL 16, which I think is 1 or 2 after this. And that's actually a doubleheader weekend at the Warp Gate, which is like a 5K on Saturday and then another event on Sunday, which I'm not sure what the difference between the 2 events or what the prize pool difference is. But like on next Saturday, the first place gets like I think it's a volcanic island. It's like duels the top 4 and then Force of Wills and stuff. It's a sick tournament. If you play Legacy or if you play Magic at all, you should go play because you don't need to own any of the cards because it's full proxy.
Yeah. That's really, really great, especially for such an expensive format like Legacy, just like making it as accessible as possible.
Yeah, so again, this is not a Magic the Gathering stream. I don't really play Magic anymore, but huge shout out to Rob, and I'm considering going to playing because I just love all those people so much.
Sure, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So unless there's anything you want to talk about, immediate.
I'm just excited to get the tournament rolling, see what the top 8 looks like. We have some defending Fab Squad champs in the room, at least one.
Yeah, so Tommy Bray is on Hatchet Story. He won Fab Squad 1, the first one, playing Lexi, which is sick to see him do that.
Yeah.
The second one actually was a team event. It was won by Logan, Brushheart, who's here today playing. I think he's playing Reinhardt today, but he won on Katsu. He actually 6-0 that event on Katsu.
Wow, very nice.
It was sick, yeah. His teammates were 2 people who weren't here. They were playing Lexi and Bravo. They couldn't make it today, unfortunately, just scheduling things. But so that's 2 defending champs, and then Mitch is here. He won Fab Squad 3, and he on Dromai.
Yep.
So every defending champion today is actually not on the deck that they won with. For Living Legend reasons, and then I think Logan just wanted to play Reinhardt instead of Katsu.
Fair.
But so we do have some defending champions.
Yep.
I keep poking fun at Tommy because he won that tournament and then he didn't. He hasn't. I don't think he's top 8 another one.
He's gotta be his moment.
Yeah, so he's got to be. I keep telling him he needs to be the first one to be the repeat champion, so he can have the back-to-back. We didn't have like the champion playmats back then, so he doesn't have a champion playmat. But
fair. He's got to get one then.
Yeah, I'll get the champion playmat and show everyone after the lunch break. But just one more shout out to everyone who helps put these things together, because I mean I definitely couldn't do this by myself. There's like Colin's running the stream, Kyle did all the graphic design work. Like a bunch of other people helped me with like the cameras and the streaming stuff because I don't really know that much about all that. And shout out to you for helping me cast this thing. It was very sick. You could have just gone and then beat everyone up and won the tournament. And you chose to give everyone else a chance.
We gotta. I'll just comment on other people's sick plays.
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and then extra shout out to Little Root Games. I'll probably drag Kyle, the owner, back here and have him talk for a minute. He lets us run this tournament in his shop, super good shop, for free. Like they don't charge me anything to run these tournaments here. I'm taking up space in their back area so we can have a caster desk. He donated 2 cases of sealed product to the prize pool for free. which is like, I mean, how many shops do you know that will do all that literally for free? So, in the intermission, there will be a screen with a little root ad on it, and if you need to buy any Flesh and Blood cards, any Pokemon cards are big into Pokemon, any Magic,
any Legos.
Yeah, they do Legos. I don't actually know the website for that, but there's like a TCG play for Lego pieces.
Really?
Yeah, I guess it's like Lego owns it now, and Eldon, the other owner, like sits here and sorts Legos all day.
Yeah.
And if you're into Legos, you can buy like specific Lego pieces. They got like huge sets up here. It's like very cool actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, all your TCG and Lego needs actually they can fill out. So definitely check them out. They have, I think, the best buy list in Columbus. All the guys that work here are nice. The owners are sick, and they let us run this tournament. We're operating in their space, absolutely free, and they donated 2 cases to the prize pool, which is so sick. So a huge shout out to Little River Games. I'm gonna try to drag Kyle back here at some point when he's not a little busy and talk about some stuff. But the lunch break is gonna get started shortly. We'll have a timer up on the intermission screen for when we're expected to be back. The lunch break is only an hour. Kind of detracts from the quality of the stream, I know, but I want to give these players a really good time to thank everyone for coming out and playing in my tournament. So
absolutely.
With that said, Colin, go ahead and take us to the intermission screen, and we will see you guys in about an hour. Thanks for tuning in.
See you in an hour.
Okay. Well, it looks like we're unmuted. So he already unmuted us. Are we?
Hi everyone.
Are we back? Yeah. Okay. It looks like we're
Hello.
back. Sorry about that loud cough. I thought we were muted. So for those of you still hanging out for lunch break, Kung Fu Barbecue brought their food truck.
Ridiculously good.
Nate, the Reinhardt player that was on camera round 2 was killing it. He was flipping tortillas. He was chopping beef.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It was delicious.
It was so good.
So good.
I got food last. I had to do other tournament stuff, and when I walked back in, everyone's sitting there eating. I'm like, "Oh, how's the food?" And they were just like moaning. I couldn't get anyone to talk to me because they were eating their tacos.
Oh, there was no conversation we had. We just had to get. Oh yeah.
It was so good. So
Huge
this
shout
match
out to Kung Fu Barbecue, you said?
Yeah, Kung Fu Barbecue. Yeah. They're out of Cincinnati. Food truck. If you need them to cater an event, they will absolutely blow it out of the park. Yeah. So good. My God. Nate killed it.
So good.
Cool. So we are here in round 3. Colin can go ahead and pan us. There we go to the feature match, and we have 2 players on the left, Kevin Breyer, and on the right, Adam Franzi. So these players are actually on the same team from Team Eclipse. They're wearing, you can't really see it, but they're wearing matching hoodies with the Team Eclipse logo on it. And Adam has been playing Prism since the new weapon came out. Played it a little bit before that. I think he won 2 Pro Quests, like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Super good player. Yeah, it's a Team Eclipse showdown. And then Kevin is like the best Vincent player in the world, and he's playing KO because he doesn't think Vincent's very good right now. Hopefully Vincent's new spoiler helps, but
absolutely.
Yeah, so we see Kevin going first. I imagine Adam won the die roll, and then Kevin just discarding an agile windup and arsenaling a card, so making that agility and that might token, which sets you up for some of the craziest turns you can have out of KO.
Absolutely.
Which is exactly what you want into a deck like Prism. You just want to be as aggressive as possible.
Yep.
So we see Red Wartune Herald lead off here.
Yep, and we see the pop right away. So we're going to see, we're just going to use footsteps. This is actually very interesting. Let's see, do we have Proxy? Oh, it's a library. Okay. Yeah. So this is, one of the best cards for Adam to play on his first turn of the game.
That's a little hard to read. Do you have the text of the library memorized?
Yeah, so basically what you do is at the end of your turn, if you have 2 yellow cards in your pitch zone, you gain 1 intellect. And Prism, as we know, is a deck that primarily wants to be playing yellow cards. Like, I'm sure over half of Adam's deck is going to be yellow. So it's not going to be that difficult for him to turn this on most turns, if not all turns.
Especially if you draw an extra card every turn.
Absolutely. He already got the first trigger, I believe. And so, it's just going to start the train rolling. And,
so this is the perfect
punish. This is fireworks immediately.
So we see a 1-card block out of Kevin, just committing the Wrecker Romp blue. And he has this agility and this might on the first attack, and leads on the Bloodrush Bellows out of Arsenal, and discards the Beast Within. So actually, gets to cast this Bloodrush Bellow, float 2 mana, and then have 4 cards in hand with Claw Up and an Agility token. So we pretty likely to see an attack here from hand into Claw into another attack, and probably present close to or over 20 damage this turn.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is definitely what you want to be doing into Prism. She does start at 32 life, so just whittle her down before she can get those angels out, gain the ward 4s, and before she can really leverage a bunch of value from this library as well now. This is definitely both players are having very, very strong starts. So we'll have to see how well Adam's able to weather the storm here. Prism does have a decent amount of no blocks in her deck. It'll certainly be less because Adam's presenting Empyrean Rapture, so a lot of those auras, Tome, and Divinity will likely be in the sideboard right now. But if he's still stuck with Angelic Wrath, or I believe some auras might still be in the deck, he might just have to eat some of these.
Yeah, this is a little awkward. We see a Wild Ride here presented, which kind of wastes the agility token because this thing is pretty likely to get go again anyway.
Yeah, very few misses in the case.
Right, so I think what that says is that Kevin doesn't think that he can throw another attack. And it's a yellow Wild Ride, so it's getting +1 from the Might and +2 from the Bloodrush Bellows, so it's coming for 8 go again. Yeah. Technically it has go again, but as we know, you don't get to go again. You just get the 1 action point.
You only get to go for 1 again.
Yeah, so This turn won't be that crazy, but still pretty likely to see the attack into claw into attack. It just is a little unfortunate for Kevin that one of the attacks would have already had go again, so some of its power budget is into that. So it's not something like a Bear Fangs where you get the extra points and then go again off the agility.
Yeah, and I can't quite tell what that last card in his hand is, but I can tell that one of them is an E-Strike, so we might just see him crunch in for 7.
Roughshod.
Oh,
with the new card.
So
from
that'll
the
just
deck.
be coming in for 7 anyway. Yeah, and here we see him just play that. So he has to Arsenal the E-Strike, and it's coming in for 7 anyway because of that Blood Rush Bellows.
Yeah. So this is a new card out of the KO Armory deck, just like that chess piece that we see, the Savage Sash. So you get KO was already the best deck and got some pretty reasonable upgrades here.
Wow. And
yeah.
we
So
see
this is a
Adam tanked all the damage went to 12.
Yeah. So 12's pretty low, right? So if you're Adam. Or if you're Kevin, you've got to be kind of scared of this, right? Like, no shot that a single popper reasonably interrupts this turn.
Yep. Yeah, and we see him leading with Herald of Triumph here. So that's going to give all of Kevin's attacks -1. And there's very few cards in his deck that will still pop this. I believe it's Swing Big, and is there anything else?
No, I think everything else is base 6 power.
Yeah. It's
so
very interesting, actually, because even though we talk about KO having a lot of consistency with his 6s, they only are 6s when they're not on the combat chain. So a lot of his blues are going to be 5. Yeah, we see an example there.
Yes, this is 9 block. Or this is 7.
This is 7. So he's blocking it exactly, but there is an Intimidate trigger on the stack. Let's see. We're seeing... Okay, we're pitching to Empyrean Rapture, and then... Oh, okay. So we're pitching just to get rid of the no block here.
Oh, just passing.
Oh, and we get to put the second yellow in pitch still for our library. So
yeah, so Rapture enables the library. So you used armor, but that was a pretty good turn cycle for Kevin, I think.
Absolutely. I think Adam basically saw, like, look, with a big turn like this, he can try to block it out, especially, you know, with having the Merciful, the no block in hand. He can attempt to block it out, but ultimately, Kevin's just going to come back and smack him in the next turn as well. The best thing that Adam might think he can do is just keep triggering that library and make sure that at least one of his heralds hits so that he can start getting that ward 4 and gain life that way. And even though he's at 12, if he's able to start generating angels and get them out on the board, flipping them for free with Empyrean Rapture, he's going to get a ton of value, and we're actually going to see his life total not decrease that much. So we'll have to see if he's able to stabilize here.
Yeah, so here's that special trick, the attack with Claw for 4 off that Might token, and then in the Resolution step, you discard a Wind Up to make your 2 tokens, and turn on the Go again for the Mandible Claw, since now you have discarded a card with 6 or more power.
Yeah, this is a really nice combat trick, essentially. Not only getting the Go again on the Claw, getting Go again next turn, and the +1 damage. Just a really good maneuver that Kevin has access to here. And we're probably going to see an E-Strike come after this. It looks like Adam has priority and he's thinking on what to do. Does he potentially have Soul Shield?
It's got to be a D-React, yeah. There's 2 Heralds, a Passing Mirage.
Might have a Soul Shield in Arsenal. That might have been the card that got
I think it's...
Although, I don't think so, because I assume he would have used it to block on the Blood Rush turn. I guess
it's double Passing Mirage and 2 Heralds in hand.
Does he not have... He has a 5th card. Might be just 3 Heralds. But we're coming in with the E-Strike for 7. Kevin choosing not to draw the card even though he's going to have an empty arsenal. Really prioritizing just getting Adam as low as possible, as quickly as possible.
Yeah, basically every deck's game plan into Prism is, like, you want the game to last the shortest amount of time as possible, because Prism is like Kano, where the longer the game goes on, the more advantage they become.
Absolutely.
Just by virtue of, like, putting permanence onto the board. Yeah. Like, if an Angel sticks... If any of these Heralds connect, and Adam gets to find a Figment and then flip it into an Angel, that's another thing that Kevin has to try to answer, because the Figments don't have Phantasm.
Yeah.
So you actually have to spend a whole card on them, or like a Claw with a Might token.
Yeah.
And that can be kind of hard to line up. You don't always have the Wind Up.
Yeah.
Or a Blood Rush Bellows or something to throw into it. So you have to spend multiple cards to answer these things just because the Prism player dealt 1 damage.
Yeah.
So that's why we see Kevin, or like on the first opportunity, spend armor to soak up one of these heralds, because the on-hit effect is like gain 4 life from the word 4, and also like deal 4 damage, maybe multiple times, plus whatever the on-attack triggers are.
Yep.
So there's a lot of value in those figments.
Absolutely. That's definitely not something trivial that Kevin's like, oh, I'll just let you have a figment here, have a figment there. It's really key to his game plan to just try to kill Prism before she can really get any of these figments out. That's why, again, like you said, we see him use up that armor, and Kevin actually has a decent fridge, like we talked about, the Savage Sash, giving him just like 2 extra block. And is Savage Sash a temper equipment?
Yeah, temper.
So he's not going to want to use that last armor block shortly. He's probably going to want to crack it for the ability of reducing all of his 6s by 1 resource cost. That's going to enable him to have another really big turn if he can put the pieces together, get another agility like we've seen him consistently do. And we see here Adam ultimately just blocking with, let's see, at least 1 passing. I'm not sure if the second is there as well. But yeah, he's down to 5 already. Kevin is at 39. He's really going to have to start stringing some turns here.
Yeah, I think Adam's goal here is just to like live through a turn and then try to pitch 2 cards somehow to preserve the library.
Yeah. And if he has another Herald here, then it looks like he is going to be able to do double Herald on this turn. And we have another Herald of Triumph to lead things off. So it's but he does have one of the few poppers in his deck that will work. Let's see. Pitches another yellow. Only War Tune will do it, but it looks like we're just... Huh? Okay, we're playing a Pierce Reality. Okay. Yep. So that is going to be a threat, again, if the game can continue. If Adam's able to attack for multiple turns and get that +2 over and over again. Right. But if Kevin closes things out here in the next turn or two, another Herald would have been a lot more impactful.
Yeah, at this stage, Kevin is not looking to interact with Adam's board. Like I doubt we see an attack into this Pierce Reality unless it's like an attack into a claw when you don't have a card you want to arsenal or something.
Yeah.
He's really just trying to kill Adam as fast as possible.
Yeah. Now, he does only have a 3-card hand here since he did pop that Herald, so there is a chance that Adam is going to be able to both preserve his life and swing with a Herald and get that +2 value right away. And as we mentioned, Kevin is running out of armor block. He doesn't want to use the Savage Sash right away, so he's really only got the 2 block. And so he's going to use it now, so he's definitely not trying to block with that last piece. So we'll have to see. He has to go again. Adam might just be forced to block out here. Wow. Okay, and we see him get another agility off the runner.
Yeah.
So he's just going to be chaining together.
So this is a Sash activation, playing runner, pitching a red beatdown card.
Yeah.
Assault something.
Yeah, assault and battery.
Yeah, assault and battery. Yeah, so Sash doing the work here of blocking 2 on a turn that matters, blocking on hit, and then also like making a mana like Tunic would.
Now this is really interesting because Kevin has a Pack Hunt in hand, and that's only going to be reduced by 1, so it's still going to cost 1 resource, which notably he does not have. So it's just going to be 6 here that Adam has to deal with. Then Kevin will be able to arsenal that Pack Hunt and hopefully set up for a very strong turn where, as we saw in the last game, you take away one of your opponent's defending cards and they're so low that if you're able to sneak an attack through, you probably get the game. So we'll have to see what Adam responds with.
Yeah, still a 5-card hand for Adam. This chess piece, super good here, even though you only get the 1 value off of it, it lets you play this turn, recreate that agility token, and have an arsenal. So even if the hand, even if, I don't know, you only keep a 3-card hand, it's not super unlikely to be able to throw Claw plus another attack plus that Pack Hunt, or even just an attack into the Pack Hunt. And if you throw 12 while I'm at 5 here, or 4 now, even if Adam has a 5-card hand being able to keep that library, you still get that Intimidate, and you only have to leak 3 more to win this game.
Yep. And as we've seen so far, Adam hasn't really been able to get a lot of value out of his library. A lot of times he's pitching his extra card just to get the 5th card again on his next turn. So we actually haven't seen him get real advantage. But here we go. Now we have a powerful turn. So this is going to be a Herald of Erudition coming in for 7. Go again with Dominant.
Yeah, the passing Mirage is actually crazy here because Herald of Erudition by itself here, even without Phantasm, wouldn't be that threatening because Kevin still has Scabs up.
Yep.
So we could give it 1 card in Scabs, which is like what you keep it around for, right, to block Herald of Erudition, because this card's terrifying if it hits. This thing has Dominate, and it no longer has Phantasm thanks to those Weavers, the arm pieces that Adam presented. So,
not only is this likely going to hit, but we're finally going to see Adam go get a Figment, and he could, if he wanted to, go get Figment of Erudition and just keep the card draw train rolling and just have an incredibly powerful turn where he's able to keep Library up, he's able to potentially swing with a second Herald, maybe set up another Aura if he wants to. We'll have to see what he wants.
Regardless which one he finds, which Figment Adam finds here, because this thing is definitely connecting.
Yep, and we see Kevin not even block.
You get to find a Figment, and not only does it apply more pressure to your opponent, which Kevin isn't really in a position where he cares about the pressure currently, it gains Adam 4 life. The thing just has Ward 4, so Adam just doubled his life total because he dealt damage for the first time this game.
Yeah, it really is a strong play here from Adam, especially, and it makes sense for Kevin because he has the life total to leverage this and just try to keep this 5-card hand, push through the Ward 4, and deal those last 4 points of damage to Adam. So we see him not even try to block, not even try to preserve life. He's likely just going to take everything here, unless he can't use his whole hand and he wants to pop a Herald later on, just to try to do as much damage as possible, lead off with that Pack Hunt potentially, and just strip a blocking card away. We'll have to see what Adam does here, and if he's able to force Kevin to block more.
Yeah, we likely see Adam find a Figment, flip it, attack, and then play another Herald.
Yeah.
Because Prism just gets to play Voltaire now. Except it costs 0 mana this time.
Yeah, but you have to pitch a yellow card, and yellows are the worst.
I wish that were true.
Yeah, Herald of Erudition's a yellow, and that's a
card's
pretty
messed
good
up,
card.
yeah.
Especially when it's got its little dog buddy.
As somebody who exclusively plays classes that don't have any armor, Herald of Erudition's messed up.
That is a very messed up card. Oh man.
Yeah, which Figment?
Okay. Oh, he gets protection. This makes a lot of sense. He only has 1 card in Soul at the moment, but if he is able to get a second card in Soul, then he's going to be able to start using the attack trigger to gain even more life, essentially, and make more Spectral Shields. But for now, just getting that 1 Spectral Shield is huge, right? I mean,
if Adam can flip that, he could have attacked, but instead, Adam is saying, here's another Herald, I want to arsenal this last card instead of attacking with this Herald.
This is very interesting. Maybe he has maybe like a defensive piece, like a Soul Shield. That would be huge at this point in the game to just be able to like full block out one of Kevin's attacks. But regardless, this is definitely a really strong turn, and he's still going to be able to flip the Angel for free if he would like to, because the card has entered his Soul. Choosing not to.
Yeah, there was. So Herald of Triumph gave the attacks -1, but that was a red Agile windup, which is a 7-power attack.
Okay.
So it went down to 6 and still popped the Herald.
Okay. Wow.
Very powerful.
Yeah, that was definitely a clutch move from Kevin there. And so we see again he does want to preserve his life total somewhat. He doesn't want to let Adam have a bunch of Figments for free, but still keeping 4 cards. Got an E-Strike, a CNC, and we know he has a Pack Hunt. Okay, he has another Agile Windup. If that's a blue, that's probably going to be able to fuel this whole turn. We'll have to see what Kevin wants to do. Although getting through 5 cards, and most of them look like we have Heralds and Celestial Cataclysm, so most of that blocks. So I think it's unlikely that Adam's going to die on this turn, so I'll have to see if he can keep leveraging the Angel that he has and whatever's in his arsenal.
I think this is my favorite play that KO can make. You start with an Agility token, and you E-Strike for 5, sometimes 6 off of a Might token as well. And you draw a card, so it just is a 1 card, 5 or 6 go again, because you replace the card that you use to play it.
Yeah, that's
so
a really
sick.
Powerful turn.
And E-Strike, when you discard it, and KO is a 6-power attack.
Yes, yeah.
For some reason.
The synergy with E-Strike is actually ridiculous.
Yeah, the early decklist of KO didn't have E-Strike, and then as soon as I saw people playing E-Strike, I was like, man, that's messed up. It's like actually so powerful.
Yep. Yeah, E-Strike is just generically one of the best cards in the game. Of course, it just kind of always does its job, always does good things.
Yeah, I don't think
KO pushes it to the next
Yeah, I don't
level.
think we've seen a deck that can quite use E-Strike in the way that KO can.
Absolutely. And we're gonna see him just start with a. Okay, this signifies a turning point in the game because now Kevin cares about dealing with Adam's board state. Yeah, he's just gonna discard the wind up, set up for next turn. But I mean, he sees essentially that he can't kill Adam on this turn. Adam's just going to be able to block, and so he's going to need to put together a stronger turn that pushes together more damage later on, or just potentially have to weather this storm and get rid of this library somehow. Kevin does have the option at any point that he wants to, or I believe it's an action, discard 2 yellow cards and destroy the library. Now, obviously, that's a really big blow, right? You lose half your hand, and you don't get any immediate value from it. But that might be something that is necessary. I know that KO does have a decent amount of yellows, certainly more than other decks, but if Adam's going to be able to just continue to get library value for the rest of the game, and Kevin gets put on the back foot, it's going to be really hard for him to get out from under that.
So we see a War Tune Herald here, and this Herald is one of the scarier ones because it costs 1 mana where the rest of them cost 2. Mm-hmm. So you get War Tune Herald usually means multiple attacks on turns where there otherwise wouldn't be multiple attacks because everything pretty much costs a whole card to play in Prism.
Yep.
But it doesn't. The only on hit for the War Tune Herald itself is putting it into the soul. But we see an 8-power attack blocking it, so it pops, and Adam uses Footsteps to preserve it, and then plays a Herald of Ravages yellow.
Interesting. So this is another one that's poppable if Kevin does have a true 6 in his hand, not one of these blue 5s. Because again, once they hit the combat chain, they have their actual base power. And we see it hit. So now Adam's going to be able to go get another Figment. He can flip it right away if he wants, but that last Herald did not have go again, so he's not going to get to attack with it. So he actually has no action points at this moment. We'll have to see what he wants to do with these last cards.
So Kevin's going to take 1 arcane damage from this Herald of Ravages. No way to interact with that.
Yep.
You just don't have Arcane Barrier in this matchup as KO.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see Adam find a defensive, maybe Herald here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, now that protection is gone, he just doesn't really have that many options. Most of them are like aggressive oriented. Okay, and you see him flip
Yeah, we did.
right
Yeah,
away.
we did. I don't think you can use the last card in your hand right without an action point unless it's one of those yellow auras. But
yeah,
they cost 4, so you can't cast it. So
yeah,
so this totally makes sense.
And we did see that he has Merciful, but oftentimes we'll see people side those out when they're on Empyrean Rapture. Vestige of Soul, when you're able to pitch a blue and get that extra resource from the Vestige of Soul ability, like you said, it pays cleanly for 1 aura. So we see a lot more of those in that scenario. Adam playing the Empyrean Rapture suggests that he wants to be playing a lot more Heralds and playing really aggressively, just trying to attack, get those on hits, and get the Angels.
Yeah, KO, like, for a deck that has 46 power attacks in it, actually doesn't have that many poppers.
Yeah, which is very funny. Let's see, we're going to discard a random
This is a Bear Fangs for 7 go again, and then +2 if we hit a 6 here, which we do.
We do?
So this is a blue Assault and Battery. So this is 9 go again, which if Adam commits no cards from hand, this is lethal through the Ward 5, so
Yeah.
or through the Ward 4 by an extra point. So we definitely see some points of block here.
Yep, absolutely. And this is actually really interesting. Okay, it looks like Kevin has an Assault and Battery in hand. We have seen a red one, so we can't confirm that it's blue. But if this is a blue card here, then he's going to be able to do Claw into Pack Hunt.
Yeah,
That's a very scary turn because it might force Adam to use all of his blocking cards early, or most of his blocking cards, and then Kevin can just intimidate the last one away and punch through the extra points of damage.
Yeah, if this card gets full blocked and Adam gets to keep the Ward 4 Herald, which, I mean, Prism has an okay amount of 3 blocks, so I could see 3 blocks here on a 5-card hand. It's like not too unreasonable. But then you get to follow up with Claw, and then what are you going to do? Block the Claw? Because if you don't block the Claw, then the Herald dies.
Yeah, I think you... It depends. You might block the Claw, but at that point, if you're giving up 4 cards, your library's gone.
Right, yeah. So this game is like is definitely KO favored, while Adam has 5 intellect the whole time. So as soon as Adam isn't allowed to keep multiple, like 3 of these cards to be able to trigger the library condition to keep it around, then I think Adam probably dies on the following turn. But we see a Soul Shield in Arsenal here, which is why Adam wanted to sequence the last turn the way he did, to put the Soul Shield in Arsenal, to try to combat something like this 9-power attack.
Yep. And now we see... Yep, okay, so this is a blue, so we see the follow-up with Claw, and we know that Pack Hunt's going to be coming after this. Yep. So the question is now, is Adam going to choose to block this or go to 1? I have to imagine that he wants to block here. If not, he's going to be forced to on the next attack anyway, and then still just go to 1. Library is gone.
Yeah, library will very likely be gone.
Yeah, in fact, Adam's going to have to... I'm actually not sure if Adam will be able to attack back on this next turn.
If every card in Adam's hand blocks for 3, then Adam gets to go to 1 and arsenal a card. Because we know that the Pack Hunt is in arsenal.
Well, he has 4 cards left, so he is able to...
Oh, he's 4, got it.
Yeah, because of the library. So he's at least able to block 2 here. Or block with 2 cards, rather. And then swing in 1 Herald. You get the value from the Courage, but at that point, just 1 Herald, you don't have library. There's a good chance that Kevin will just let that hit.
If everything blocks, then Adam can take no damage this turn and just arsenal whatever is intimidated.
Let's see, he's gonna end up blocking for 3.
Yep. Here's another 6 intimidate.
Yeah. So let's see what Adam wants to do here. He's gonna have 2 cards in soul if a Herald hits on the following turn. Although Kevin might just choose to say like, all right, I got through the library, we dealt with the Pierce, one of your best angels is gone in protection, and we have another one down. So we'll have to see how Kevin wants to play out the rest of the game. I would assume just, going as aggressively as possible, but he's just going to have a 4-card hand, no agility, and no might going into the next turn. Or he does have 1 might from the Bear Fang, so he'll have the might, but he won't have an agility. It might actually be hard for him to string together the kind of powerful turns we've seen, like this turn. Like the Blood Rush turn that we saw at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, we've only seen 1 Blood Rush, though, I believe.
That is true. If he finds the second Blood Rush soon, it's going to be really tough.
The Soul Shield here was quite good for Adam.
Absolutely. Just being able to get more blocking value out of that card that's in your arsenal is just incredible. And then getting it into your soul, if the game is able to go a little bit longer, he's going to get a good amount of value from that as well. I mean, that's essentially the card that he'll need to give something more for, and then if he's able to keep an angel around, he can get the attack trigger. Yeah, Adam's in a really tight spot here, although it looks like they haven't done the Intimidate trigger.
No, I think he did. He had 3 cards when the Intimidate went on stock. I think he only has 2 in hand right now. Or is he thinking about responding?
I think he's thinking about responding. I think he might have an aura, but...
Well, if you have an aura, he dies.
Yeah.
Unless it's a blue card plus aura, and then you intimidate the last card, and then you die.
Yeah. He has 1 floating, it looks like, from pitching a blue to the Soul Shield. We'll have to see what he wants to... Oh, he might be looking to pop Halo, potentially?
Find a Figment.
Yeah.
Flip it, gain 4 life.
Yep. That wouldn't be bad here. He'd be able to keep more cards in hand. In fact, he would be able to keep
attack.
Yeah, he can attack back for at least a decent amount, as well as getting that ward for and keeping his life total actually higher. Yeah, we're gonna see him. He's thinking about it. I mean, he's in a really tough spot, and Halo is actually one of the most powerful pieces that Prism has access to in her deck. Not only does it just give you that extra card in soul that you need, and if you put a light card in specifically, you're not losing cards because you get to draw, but then you also get to tutor up any Figment in your deck when you put a Herald in. The Herald doesn't actually have to hit, it just has to go into your soul by any means necessary. That could be Soul Food, that could be Halo of Illumination. Soul Food is a card that people play.
I watched Rhea play a Soul Food, trigger Prism, find the Herald that does an arcane damage, and kill her opponent with it.
Yep, yeah.
just killed with Soul Food plus a yellow or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Like no attacks, just one arcane.
Yeah.
It was super funny.
Yeah, it's Soul Food, it's ridiculous. I've heard of games where, you have Soul Food, 3 Heralds, you just go get 3 Figments.
Yeah.
This thing's pretty good.
Yep. Yep. So we see blue Herald of Triumph getting put into the pitch.
Yep.
See that card drawn, and we see Prism ability triggered to go tutor a Figment.
And that Empyrean Rapture is going to let him flip it for free. Again, Empyrean Rapture just cares if a Herald has entered your soul. It doesn't care about if it hit. It doesn't care if it's your turn. That's a flat ability. So, he's going to go get... okay. So what we might see here is that he's going to block for 6. And then, he might block for 6 and then attack with the Angel of Erudition, Soraya on the other side, I believe.
With go again and try to get another attack off of it.
Yep.
Or to keep the library around. This actually is a line that could allow library to stick.
Yep. Yeah. This definitely seems like a good line. It depends on what he's gonna keep though. If he had 3 yellow 3 blocks, then it's guaranteed, of course. But we'll have to see blocks for 3.
Another Herald. I believe it's a red.
Okay.
Just saying. I'm going to go to 1.
I mean, that's fair.
Oh, this he didn't flip the thing.
Yeah, he didn't flip it. He wants to go to 1, and then he's probably going to flip it now so that he gets that.
It looks like we're
flip.
cleaning up. So it looks like we're just on Adam's turn.
Interesting.
Oh no, okay.
Oh yeah, he realizes. Oh no, okay, we are cleaning up.
Interesting.
It's interesting because if he has a yellow in hand, then he could. Yeah.
Well, this could. Imagine it's another Herald of Erudition because the courage token will give it +1.
Interesting. I'm not.
Oh no, we're just flipping for 2.
Pay
so you can put the yellow card into the pitch.
Sure. Yeah, just guarantee it. And he had. Oh wow, he had 2 0 blocks. He had a Figment and an Aura in his hand.
Man, this card's messed up.
Yeah.
You just get to draw 2 cards. Huh?
Yeah. I think it's fine. with go again. No, this is definitely one of these. I mean, this might just be the most powerful card that Prism has access to. It's certainly one of them. Halo as well is up there. I mean, this card is truly just ridiculous. So we'll have to see what.
It should be for 5, right? Off the cards. Does Courage trigger off the ally attack?
Yes. Yeah. Courage.
Or is it weapon or attack action? Okay.
Yeah. It might be weapon or attack. Okay. So
no, it must be attack action card.
Yeah, it must be attack action card. So
I think there's only 1
8.
swing big left in Kevin's deck.
Yeah, although he might have more of the red agile windups.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
We've seen that as well. That's not something that every KO plays, but it does give you more equity into this matchup because again, it can pop these Herald of Triumphs that Prism leans on so heavily when trying to get Heralds.
This is a pretty freaking good 2-card hand. Attack you for 12, threaten to gain 4 more life, crack my Ponder Arsenal card.
Yep.
Draw 5 cards. So yeah, this was well navigated by Adam to not die on that last turn and also keep the library around.
Yep. All right. So now we see. Okay. Yep. And he gets the Ponder. So now Kevin's at an interesting point here where he kind of has to decide: do you just want to keep going for Adam and pressure him, or do you want to start dealing with this angel? You can attack it directly.
That turn cycle with the library plus the Halo plus the Erudition was an 8-card turn cycle plus Ponder. So I get to play with 8 cards and Arsenal a card.
Yeah.
Well, huh?
Yeah. Prism. She draws a lot of extra cards. You can run her out of threats, but while she has them, she can put together some incredibly gross turns.
Oh, so we see a Scabs rolled here.
Wow. Okay. That's the
action point. So if we see,
he's likely.
He's like, hey, do you wanna? He was like, are you sure you don't want to try for 3 action points?
Yeah.
So either we see Kevin just straight kill Adam, or we see him throw something at this Herald or this Angel.
Yep.
Because there's no shot you can let your opponent have 5 intellect and draw 2 cards for free. There's no shot.
No, absolutely not.
So we see Blue Wrecker Romp coming in for 7. We'll see where it's going. It looks like we're lining up blocks, so it must be thrown at Adam directly, not the Angel.
Yeah.
And it discarded a Beast Within, so we get an extra card off of that, which is pretty sick. Which is exactly what he lined up, so he gets to find an Arsenal card.
Yeah. And we see here...
Oh, Red Bear Fang, sick.
That is good, but he's not going to be able to play it, unfortunately.
No, yeah, this thing didn't have...
So he has the second action point.
Yeah, you could claw.
Yeah, he could claw. I think you'd rather just Arsenal.
Yeah, you have 20 life.
Yeah.
Like, you're not... Like, Adam's definitely clawing back into this game. You're not in the most comfortable position as Kevin, but I think, like, what does Claw actually do here? Get one of his 5 cards. I think you just let Adam have, like, a busted turn.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't kill you. And then you just, like, have the Bear Fangs, and maybe you have to roll Scabs next turn if you don't find a way to make an agility token.
Yeah, and we're actually, I think, likely to see Adam give up the Angel because he has no more cards in Soul at this point. So unless he has a way to put another card into his Soul.
I mean...
yeah, yep, and we see that exactly. It perfectly blocks it out.
Yep.
Now Adam's going to be able to keep a 5-card hand, right, with the Arsenal plus the 4 leftover cards. So he's likely going to...
we do see the Claw, okay.
We see the Claw, just pressuring Adam.
That's interesting.
Further.
I think if I was in this position, I would have made a different choice. I would have Arsenaled the Bear Fangs.
Yeah.
But also, I haven't played KO very much, and
Yep.
Kevin's a much better player than me, so this is probably better to do this. I'll
yeah.
have to ask him about this line later. It's interesting. I would have Arsenaled the card, I think.
Yeah, this is interesting. Bear Fangs definitely, being a 2 for 8 most of the time, it just makes it one of the most, like, aggressively slanted cards in your deck. And ultimately, letting Adam keep 3 cards plus the Arsenal, there is a decent chance that he'll just be able to keep Library online anyway.
Right. Yeah, we saw him able to keep the card Library online, like, put 2 yellow cards in the pitch zone off of a 2-card hand.
Yeah.
And throw 12.
Yeah.
With no permanents on board at the start. I guess, well, like...
Yeah,
one,
with the Library.
Yeah.
But other than that...
and the Soraya, but it was unflipped, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had to get it on that previous
turn.
turn.
Some of these turns are crazy. I guess if you let a hero have 5 intellect the whole game, it's going to be hard to beat them.
Yeah.
But Kevin only needs to do 1 damage, right? So...
Yeah. We have... And again, like you pointed out earlier, there are 2 Blood Rush Bellows still in the deck waiting.
If this library is still around when Kevin finds a Blood Rush Bellow, especially if there's an agility token, and extra especially if there's a card in Arsenal that is, like, good on that turn, Adam could still die through the 5-card hand.
Yep. Let's see.
Blue War Toon Herald for 5, I believe?
Yes.
Good.
Now, like you said earlier, this is the Arsenal card. So this is really good because it's going to be very likely that Adam's going to be able to swing with a 2nd Herald after this. He's got the 1 floating, so he can pay for Footsteps and then use those last 2 cards to potentially pay for a Herald, and just keep that library around, continue to threaten Kevin's hand.
Yeah, even if we see a Pauper here, which we do, that's the 3rd blue Wrecker Romp.
Yeah,
which
and this is expected, right?
Yeah,
like
a natural 6, so good. So we see the... Oh, and it was another War Toon. Yeah, so that's crazy. Like, I talked about this card being good because it would cost 1, even though it didn't have the additional on hit. Mm-hmm. Is, like, the best 2nd card here because you just get to, like, if Kevin has the Pauper, which he did, which is good, you get to throw this anyway.
Yeah.
Because it costs 1, so off your yellow that you pitched. So these 4 cards through, 12?
Yeah.
Plus Prism's ability, so representing a ward 4 plus whatever the on hit is.
Yeah.
Or for whatever the enter trigger is off the Figment. So 13-ish value, plus, so 17 value-ish, if the Angel immediately dies and doesn't get to attack.
Yep. And... Let's see. We're gonna see
through a Pauper on a 4-card hand.
Yeah, and this is just a difficult position that. Okay, cool. So Adam's just going to get Figment of Judgment. It does not do anything in this matchup other than Ward 4. This is just purely.
What is it? This is a 23-point turn cycle.
Let's see.
Turn a card. Yeah, 23 points, or 22 points because I don't think there's a point of value attached to this.
To this flip. This flip.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
no to the ETB.
Oh, that's Because
you don't have an action point, so you can't. It just gains 4 life.
Yep.
Which is just worth 4. So it was 23 points.
Yeah. This is
and kept the library up. So 20. Is that worth 27? If you get to draw the extra card, you count that.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. This is really strong. Although Adam's probably getting to the point where he's starting to run out of Figments.
We've seen 4, I think.
We've seen 4, so he probably has like maximum 3 left. We haven't seen Ravages and we haven't seen Rebirth. Those are the 2 big ones left.
Yeah.
And then other than that, I'm trying to think what else he could have. Triumph for -1.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. So those are the last 3 that he has left in his deck. And honestly, Adam's probably okay with this because like he's just getting the 4 life to stay alive over and over again and just keeping library around.
Yeah, it was 39 to 4.
Yeah.
So like 13 to 1. This is pretty good.
Yes. Yeah.
But we do see the Blood Rush Bellow here for Kevin. So Kevin's just gonna Arsenal this, and then unless something goes like horribly wrong next turn, you just maybe block with Scabs.
Yeah.
On like a Herald of Erudition or something, and then try to untap with as many cards as you can on your turn and try to kill with this Blood Rush.
That's another good point. I think we've only seen one Herald of Erudition.
Yeah, that's like definitely the big reason that you see Kevin prioritizing blocking with multiple cards on hits that actually matter, or just throwing a popper instead of spending 2 cards.
Yep.
But if we do see another Herald of Erudition, it's going to have Phantasm.
Yes.
There's no passing Mirage in play that would cost an action point, and Adam would have needed to play at the end of a previous turn. Oh, we see him pitch the Blood Rush spell with a claw saying, give me more cards. I'm just going to... He's probably trying to run him out of threats here.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to talk to Kevin about this later. I have, like, both of these class 2 claw swings, I would have arsenaled the card instead.
Yeah.
So maybe... I know these two players test a lot together, and they're both extremely good at what they're doing. So maybe Kevin is just saying, yeah, stripping cards on library turns is more important because they'll be less likely to keep the library.
Yeah.
If I don't let the first Herald hit, which is reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do get what Kevin is going for here. Just like not letting up, putting as much pressure as possible on Adam. However, we have seen. I mean, Kevin continues to try to leverage his life by, as you pointed out, not blocking out every Herald that comes through. Just accepting Adam's at the point where he is going to be. Let's see. Yeah, he's gonna be getting
red Herald of Triumph. Or Herald of War Tune Herald, sorry.
Yeah.
So this is 7 go again.
Although with only 1 card left, if Kevin does choose to pop this and he does have the CNC to do so,
his last card's a passing Mirage.
Okay, so he has to. Okay. Oh, okay. So Pierce Reality, but
yep. So
library does not
gone.
Yeah.
So for the first time this whole game.
Yeah. Or I guess it doesn't trigger, but it gets to stick around.
Oh yeah, okay.
Wow, library is really good. I forgot about that.
I thought it was like channeling Frigid. If you didn't do the thing, it just blew up.
Yeah, I
what
forgot.
I'm about to make this stream rated R. I got some words I would like to use. What?
Oh yeah.
It sticks around. I mean, honestly, we've seen Adam narrowly make it out of the turns with a 5-card hand anyway. So
yep.
I would be surprised if we see Adam ever able to put 2 yellow cards in the pitch zone ever again.
Yeah.
This is probably just too much. And we see the wind up here, so even if this turn only throws like what is 1-card hand? Oh, it is the Rough Shot.
Oh, okay.
So
that's
like
coming for 4
that's the
and
only
then another 5.
That's the only card it could be, other than like what Riled Up I think costs 1.
Yeah, but
so
I don't know if that card sees a ton of play.
I think with the higher density
Sash
of 1
now.
Yeah, with the higher density of 1s and Sash, you maybe do play a couple of those.
Okay.
But yeah, no. So if you're Adam, this looks pretty unassuming. You could probably suspect that there's not another attack after this because Sash is gone. There's not an extra mana. You're playing Brute, so none of your cards cost 1, except this new card that they put in the Armory deck costs 1, and it's pretty good. And its restriction of you can't play this card unless you've discarded 6 or more this turn has been met because we made an Agility token with this Agile wind up. So this 4-card hand was actually insane.
Yes, yeah. And this is actually really interesting from Adam's point because even though this Claw might be unassuming, it's still coming in for 4. It's a really difficult point for him to deal with at this point.
Does Imperial Rapture have a 1 block?
It has Ward 1 if you pay 1.
Oh, okay.
So I think we would be
you
more
probably
likely...
just give 2 cards, yeah.
Yeah. If he were to pitch, you'd probably use Footsteps.
Yeah, unless there's exactly sync below, I think. This, and there's no Halos, there's no instant speed.
Ooh, he does. Okay,
there's a Herald of Erudition. Oh, okay.
So, if he wanted to, Adam could block 3 and then use Footsteps and then have the 2 floating to pay for Soul Shield.
With the passing
assuming he has a
blue
in hand.
Yeah, that's probably what we do see.
Although, oh no, he pitches a yellow.
Oh, maybe it's. Yeah, this actually is going to be so bad. If he's
having the Figment was incredibly unfortunate. Now he has to give up both cards here to Soul Shield. Give Kevin a 4-card hand with an Agility, with a Might, where he doesn't have to worry about popping at all.
Yeah, I think he was looking to play the passing, and then Arsenal the Soul Shield, which would be a sick transition turn. So I can see why he pitched that way.
Yeah.
The new card, I can't remember. It's something Rough Shot.
Run Rough Shot.
Yeah, Run Rough Shot. That card, it's just as big of a deal as War Tune Herald costing 1 and really not having any text.
Yeah.
Because it costs 1 in a deck that's built around 2 cost attacks and easy access to action points. So huge, and we see
Wow.
we see
And-
Kevin's hand here just have the third Bloodrush Bellow in it.
Yep, and
So-
here we go.
But he pitched a red actually, and there's no sash here.
Ooh,
So
he's gonna
This
need
might
to
only
find a
throw
blue.
this might only throw 2 attacks.
Let's see what we have. Okay, the Mighty Windup almost certainly is a blue,
Yeah,
and the Smash Instinct is likely a blue as well. So he'll be able to play.
Yeah, and
both
then I
of
believe
these
it's
cards.
a red Bear Fangs. So we're
Yeah.
definitely gonna see this Bear Fangs pitching the blue, and if we draw another rough shot, we could throw it. But other than that, it's probably just coming in with the claw.
Yeah.
Which is going to be good enough because Adam got punished for sequencing last turn and had to give all of his cards.
Yeah.
Adam doesn't have a Soul Shield and Arsenal, which he would have had to give anyway. But
Yeah.
if Adam's line had worked out and he got to keep that Soul Shield and Arsenal,
Yes.
he can actually make it. He could have made it out of this turn and played an aura, or maybe even played an attack.
Yeah.
Um,
And there we see the downside of the Figments, because the reason Adam did that is because, if he had pitched the Passing Mirage, assuming that there was another attack coming, he would have just been stuck with a Figment in his hand, and he would have just had to lose it anyway.
So there we see coming in for 8, and that is more than 2 cards can block because this claw is for 6. So that was a crazy game.
Yeah. That was
If,
really good. We saw the Prism do illusionist things where you have to take a bunch of damage to try to set up, and definitely clawed his way back into that game. But Kevin just kind of weathered the storm, kept swinging in and pressuring Adam as much as possible. And then as soon as that library was offline, definitely felt like Kevin had the control that he needed in the space that he needed to put on more pressure.
If Adam was allowed to keep that library online for one more turn and have the 5th card there, he gets to live.
Yeah.
But then you're down, you're just down so many threats there.
Yeah. He was at the point where he only had 3 angels left, so even if it was looking good for Adam if he was going to be able to continue that going, but Kevin was able to weather the storm, continue to get those angels out, and also prevent Adam from ever attacking with them really and getting the trigger, other than those erudition or that one erudition turn, right?
Yeah, right.
Other than that, he wasn't able to get the 2 spectral shields off with protection. He was never able to get the arcane damage with ravages. Those are 2 really key pieces that you want to be going for. So yeah.
Yeah, just from the beginning of the game, even with the 5 until basically from turn 1 he played turn 0 Kevin Arsenal the card, and then Adam on his first turn played the library.
Yeah.
Had 5 cards every turn until the second to last turn of the game.
Yeah.
And was just in such a bad spot that the whole time that he had to block with most of his cards on most turns. He wasn't able to throw too much aggression.
Yeah.
But we did see some pretty scary turns,
Yes.
the 2-card hand that threw 17 points, and then threw a ward thing in play.
Yep. Yeah.
You can do some scary things with Prism. You just can't do them forever because you'll run out of things to do.
Yes, absolutely. And you have to take a lot of damage to set them up. And if that happens to line up when your opponent has one of their power turns, like we saw with that Bloodrush Bellows, you're gonna get punched in the mouth, and you're gonna be forced to start blocking at some point. And that's what we saw there. That was a really good game, though. It started with fireworks. It was exciting the whole way through. Yeah, great game.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see. I'm real proud of myself. I'm not complaining about Prism.
You did a great job.
Not even one time. I'll pat myself on the back for that one.
Very nice.
I'll do it. If Prism has one hater, I'm the hater. Copy pasta.
Your Prism has one fan. It's me. It's balanced.
Yeah. I don't know. There's definitely bigger fans of Prism.
No, there are.
For sure. I heard your armory is 9 Prism players, and
we have a lot of Prism players. Not quite that many.
Yeah, I'll stay home, I think.
Yeah, it's like Prism and Kasai.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah.
All right, so that does it for round 3. We've got 7 minutes. It looks like 7 minutes left. It looks like 8 minutes.
Yep.
Maybe that's not accurate. I'm not sure, but it's been counting down. So that was actually a super grindy game.
Yeah.
Because of library. I think if library wasn't in that game, Kevin's draws would have. I mean, he just leaks 3 more damage every turn minimum.
Yeah. Although we saw there were many turns where ultimately all that Adam could really do with that last card was pitch it. He pitched it to Empyrean Rapture's ability at one point just to try to draw another card.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never saw him play the Merciful Retributions that were in his hand. They would just kind of...
Yeah, playing the 4-cost auras seems really... playing the Spectre auras, the yellow ones, seems really difficult in this matchup.
Yeah.
Because KO is just throwing 15 or 17 points at you every turn.
Yeah.
And it seems kind of hard to keep your board.
He honestly might have been in a position where he was forced to do that based on his sideboard, because we didn't see